You guys, Christmas is in 2 days, and I originally had this video to go up like a couple weeks ago, but you know, stuff happens. So basically this entire video is going to be with all the videos that I had planned to upload beforehand, but I put a little bit of a twist on it and put it as a last minute DIY video. Like, it's super last minute. Like, if you're watching this right now, then you definitely need to get something done really quickly. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and let's get on to the video. So first I took some pattern paper and I took a compass and made circles. You want the circles to be smaller and bigger than the others, so like make a really small one and then a huge one, and then I put a dot in the middle so I know where to cut, and then I started cutting them all out. The original picture had about 8 or 9 of these little circles, but I ended up not using all of them. I only used about 7 because it was quite large. So if you use the compass like me, I just moved it for every ½ inch, so just like that. So this next step is very hard to describe, but basically you're folding it into fourths, and then with the opposite ends, the ones that are like that, and then you just fold them inward instead of outward, and then snip a piece at the top. And here's what it looks like with a bigger circle. Then taking any sort of stick, I just use a skewer because if this is last minute, you probably won't have time to go get an actual dowel. And I just glued them, starting from the smallest one and going down to the largest one and leaving some space apart and trying to line them up and the way that they're kind of folded in, like so. Now you could glue these to a stand or put them in a jar, but I didn't have an actual stand, so I just made one out of some styrofoam pieces and I glued it together and then just stuck it through. Now to take this one step further, I decided to cover up the little top and glue a bow onto it, and that's it. For this next tree, you're going to need to make a little cone or a big cone, it doesn't really matter the size, and trim off the excess paper. Next, take any sort of pattern paper and trace little circles using any sort of circular object you can find. I traced around my washi tape to get small circles because I wanted them all to be kind of small. There's 2 different ways you can go at this. So the first one, I made a bunch of random size circles and just glued them on like so. And then with the second one, with all those little circles I made before, I just hot glued them to the bottom and tried to circle it all the way around the cone. Then you should get something like this. So just so it can stand easier, I folded the ends a little bit outward, that way when you set it down it's flat. Then I continued to glue them all around until I was done. And that's literally it, you guys. It was so easy. So I messed up on this one. It was a big fail for me, but I decided to show you guys anyways. So for starters, this mistake was not putting any wax paper down before. I wrapped around and glued the cone, but I decided to show you this part anyways. But you do wrap it around as many times as you want, and then you have to get the cone out of it after it dries, and this is what I struggled with the most because it never came off because I didn't use wax paper. Despite the leftover paper, this is what it's supposed to look like, and you should make it bigger because then you can put lights in it and stuff, but yeah. This next one is clearly not a tree, but it's still room decor type stuff. So basically you're just going to take any sort of colored markers or Sharpies and just make random dots all around the paper. Then take a Sharpie or black marker and just draw a line around them all. And then after that, use that same marker and draw little black dots to represent the little parts of the light. So I messed up a little bit, but that's okay because it doesn't have to be perfect. And after you're done, you can put it in a frame and that's it. The next DIYs involve a bunch of different styles of tags. So this one is an ornament tag, so I just folded it in half and I traced a circular object and then stretched out a little bit of the top part of the ornament. Then I cut out the little circle in the middle and I colored in the little ornament piece. Then I glued in a scrap piece of paper and lined it up with the circle, and then I glued the entire thing shut. Then I made a different one because why not make more than one? Now to take this a step further, I cut off the edges to make it more of a tag shape, and then I hole punched in the middle. Then on the back, write the to and from little things, and then that's it. This next one is a little tree tag, so I folded it in half again, but I only used half of that. And I sketched out a little tree with a green marker. I just did little lines curving outward and filled it up the entire little tree. After you get something that looks like this, then I drew a star on the top of the tree and then wrote the to and from, cut off the edges to make it look like a tag, hole punched it, and that's it. This next tag is so easy, even my cat could do this, so I took the glue stick and glued it on the bottom half, and then took some scrap wrapping paper and placed it down. Don't forget to trim around the excess pieces of wrapping paper. Then, like I said, I took this all a step further and trimmed off the sides, wrote the to and from, hole punched it, and that's it. This next tag I saw on Pinterest and I thought it was super cute. So basically you're gonna have to draw out a cup shape and cut it out, and then take a white sheet of paper and sketch out a little bit of a top to make it look like a coffee top, and then cut that out as well. Then take any sort of brown paper or cardboard and sketch out a small piece to represent the sleeve of the cup. Then you want to glue it on, and I used a actual cardboard piece, so just to make this thicker and not very weirdly shaped, I guess, I did this again, but glued the entire thing onto a piece of cardboard. Then I hole punched it just like the other ones, and then wrote to and from on the little sleeve part, and that's it. Then I proceeded to make another one because I thought it looked better that way. This final one, you're going to want to cut out a triangle with any sort of pattern paper. Then glue it onto a piece of brown paper or cardboard, and then after that, draw the little stub underneath of the triangle to represent the tree stump. Then with another pattern piece of paper, I sketched out a little star and then cut it out. Then I glued that to the top of the tree, and that's it. This next gift is so simple, so I bought this bag of candy at Target, and it's just like a mix of candy. So I took the candy out the bag, and I took a mason jar, and then I put all the candy in a mason jar, and that's pretty much it. Snack time. Yeah, I always eat the candy whenever I make these, so. So I took this a step further and decided to tie a bow on top. I'm really bad at tying bows, so don't judge on how weak my bow tying game is, but that's pretty much it for this little gift. This next gift also involves a mason jar, and this time you're taking some different colors of nail polish and putting them inside the mason jar. This gift is perfect for anyone who likes nail polish, like me for example, and then, yeah, I couldn't fit my hand in there and it got stuck. But after that, you can put some little extras like little nail stickers and nail files and nail gems, and that's it. This last DIY gift is by far my absolute favorite. So basically I am tracing out little bits of squares, like 5 different squares to make a box shape, and then with the corners that would be extra, sketch out a little bit of a heart. This DIY is definitely the most time consuming, but I love it so much because it's so pretty. So after you cut out the square, this is what it should look like. And of course I didn't cut out the hearts yet. Then I kind of scored the edges with a small pair of scissors, just so it's easier to fold. Then you want to fold around the edges that you just scored and fold around them all, that way it'll bend, and when you unfold it, it'll kind of open up like a box, and when you fold it back up, it looks like an actual box. So then I decided to fill it up with this random stuff. So I took the little hearts and filled it with different pattern paper. The whole idea behind this gift is to make it for someone you love or you're friends with, like your best friend, and you would put random pictures inside of there. But I didn't have actual pictures, so I just chose some random pictures. And then you want a smaller box. The original DIY had 3 little unfoldable things inside, but I only chose 2 just for sake of time. And then I cut out some black paper. This is supposed to be the top of the box, so make sure you cut off the little corners. And then after that, I put it all together, folded it in. This part is actually a little bit hard to do because you want them to fold perfectly and then put the top on, and that's it. When the person you give this to opens the box, it'll explode. I saw this way to wrap things on Pinterest, so first take a bright colored wrapping paper and wrap the whole box, and then take another wrapping paper and sketch out letters to represent something, so I wrote yay with mine. Then you want to wrap that box with that same thing after you cut out the letters, and then tape down any little stragglers, and that's it. This next little thing is just like an extra for your box, so just cut out some triangles in different patterns and then take a piece of string and tape them on there. The end product should involve it looking like a banner when you tape it onto your wrapped box, and that's it. This final DIY is to make your wrapped box look like an animal if you think your wrapping is a little bit too plain. So I decided to make mine into a penguin, and I decided to cross out his eyes later and glue on some eyes. But I sketched out his little feet, and I sketched out his nose, and then I colored the entire thing black. Then I colored in his nose and his feet orange, and that's it. I never left. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you in my next video. Bye!